For this week's Philosophy Friday, we're taking a look at two ideas that are very heavily related that can potentially hold you back in your quest to get stronger and more skillfully proficient. So the first idea is we look at some of these exercises and we think, oh, that's skill work. That does nothing for your strength. That won't make you bigger or stronger. So if you want to get stronger, don't even mess with that stuff. But at the same time, we have things like this, where it's like, oh, sure, that's impressive display of strength on like a bench press, but that doesn't have any functional carryover to skillful application like on the field in sport. So it's great, but ultimately worthless. Where these notions have their merits is evidenced by one of the most important principles in all of fitness, the SAID principle, specific adaptation to imposed demand, which has a very important lesson. That lesson is you gain that which you challenge. So if you want to get stronger, you need to use methods that challenge your strength. If you want to become more skillfully proficient, you need to use methods that challenge your proficiency. And if you're using a method that doesn't adequately challenge those characteristics, then sure, you're not going to gain the results that you want. But where this idea misses the mark is evidenced by the SAID principle. And the SAID principle is a specific adaptation, but it doesn't cause an adaptation to a singular functional capacity. This is because all physical movement that we do, whether it's exercise or otherwise, is actually more like a recipe of functional ingredients. Looking at something and saying, oh, that's strength work, is kind of like looking at a chocolate chip cookie and saying that's just chocolate chips. The reality is all physical movement is like a baked-in recipe of many ingredients, functional capacities, strength, stability, endurance. Even the strength itself is multifaceted because you have strength in different muscles and different applications of that strength. Recognizing that all activity and exercises are more like a recipe of functional capacities is very helpful, because otherwise, if you just focus on one ingredient, that's like a chef saying, I'm trying to make the ultimate chocolate chip cookie, and the only thing they know to do is just keep pouring in more chocolate chips. But understanding that it's a recipe opens us up to the fact that skill builds strength and strength builds skill. And it's a cyclical, kind of holistic approach where everything builds everything else. Evidence of this relationship is everywhere. Think of like sports teams, baseball teams, for example. There's strength and conditioning coaches for baseball, which is a skill-applied sport. You don't need a lot of strength to pick up a baseball or run just 90 feet or whatever it may be. But they recognize that if you get stronger, you can play and be more skillfully proficient at baseball. At the same time, you've got to be pretty good to be pretty strong, particularly like with powerlifting. Consider Marty Gallagher's book, The Purposeful Primitive. The guy builds absolute strength monsters. He wrote this book, it's nearly 500 pages long, but he didn't take 500 pages to say it's all about weight and reps and getting stronger is as simple as just putting more weight on the bar. There's a lot of knowledge and skill that goes into optimizing one's strength. And lastly, don't forget that you gain that which you challenge. So if you're challenging the strength in your quads, for example, your quads are going to get stronger regardless of how you do it. It doesn't matter if it's pistol squats, barbell squats, or running up a flight of stairs. There may be a great skill component to it, yes, but if it's requiring more strength than what you previously had in your quads will get stronger. Same thing with stability. Overhead presses with kettlebells could be arguably a strength exercise, but if it requires more stability and skillful application of how you're stabilizing your body, then you will build skill, even if it is a strength move and you're only doing a few repetitions. Ultimately, everything has many benefits to it, which is very good, because you don't want just one benefit from your exercise, you want many benefits from it. But don't get tunnel vision into one thing when it could be other ingredients in your strength training or training recipe that may be holding you back. Okay, hopefully that gave you something to think about. You can learn more here. Please subscribe if you like the videos. Be fit, live free.